It's going to be a tough challenge in front of me because I'm going to stand in way between you and the lunch. One of the toughest challenges, by some reason or other, like whenever I go for presentation, 90% of the cases I get this slot. And DSTC was never different. And the challenge goes a bit more higher when we have a very dynamic presentation from Rahul and a very knowledgeable presentation from Millie. I'm standing between, like the ocean and the devil, I should say. Like, it's going to be a very tough experience for me, but let me try my best to ensure that you don't sleep because of the fatigue which is over here. So I would like to thank DSTC for this opportunity to come over here and present this particular topic in NeTAF in front of you. The top management of our organization, my colleagues who has really worked for this framework. I'm just presenting on behalf of my team who has really worked behind this. And all the pictures of the group is no credits to me. Now in the next 30 minutes, probably we will be running through some of the cross sections as mentioned over here, like, we'll be talking about testing past, present, and probably future. Quite sure about it, but to the best possible. The challenges which we are facing and the solution of NeTAF. NeTAF is Nest Test Acceleration Framework. Nest is our company, brand name of the company. So, and we'll be talking about a support framework called VHD and a couple of advantages which we are seeing. I would like to say, don't take it as NeTAF. NeTAF is only one of the products which we have made in line to that. I would really appreciate if you can think about imbibing the concept behind NeTAF and VXD. It's not that unique or it's not that different, but the way it has been implemented, I'm just trying to share the thoughts of how we implemented that inside our organization and what were the benefits which we got. And from today morning we were hearing about, dummy to dummy differences will be there. Definitely you need to tailor to fit in for the best suited for your level. How many of you agree to this? Testing is easy. Do you agree? Yes? No? Not really? I think Lenz is sitting back. Okay. Yeah. See, basically, if you look back into the history of testing, there were cases where people really believe testing is easy. Now, somebody joins the organization, a fresher comes in, put him to testing, let him learn the domain, and then once he picks up, we will move into the development. So let him learn that, because testing is comparatively an easy job. And if you look into the historical definitions of testing, that is also matching. If you look back, I think it was in late 70s or early 80s, where the first definition I could find, which was saying to increase the confidence of the developer that the program which is written by him is working. So testing is an activity to increase the confidence of the developer. That was a thought process when we started the entire testing. But later on, there was a gradual shift in the thought. If you look back, Mayers sometimes said about testing as an activity to identify the deviations. The deviations from the specifications, and then, what can be an issue. A perspective difference was brought in there in which we were looking into testing as a destructive activity, probably. It may be a negative statement, but I would like to say it's a constructive destruction which was induced into the system in order to ensure that our customers are safe and ultimately, we are safe. So, in that perspective, can you say testing is easy? There is a question behind it. I don't think that testing is going to be easy. If testing was easy, I don't see about 100 people who will be there spending the entire day today with this particular conference. If it was easy, why should we spend the time, money, effort, everything on that? It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's all full of thorns and rocks and things like that. But there has to be a systematic way, adaptive way, which has to be adapted in order to ensure that testing becomes something different. Now, the expectation is today morning also now I was talking about the functionality defects. I mean, it's not the responsibility of the tester, I believe. When I do something, when I do my code, why should I introduce a functionality defect? I mean, base level functionality defects I'm talking about. It should be definitely covered during the unit testing or the related testings which we are doing inside. So the purpose of testing, the perspective has shifted from not just functionality, but catch the hidden bugs. Catch the hidden bugs. Forget about the normal executions which we are expected to be followed, but then what are the different cases in between scenarios which can come in by which there can be something different. Identify the bug which is hidden inside the entire system. So that perspective, it all moved in. And I read a very interesting article on those lines. Are kids better testers? The naughty is my son. No, I read this article, and the very next week he asked me a very funny question which made me go back and read the article once again. I really felt the article was true. I drive a Verna, I go to petrol pump, and whenever I go to petrol pump, he wants to come with me because he likes the smell of petrol. So I know it's not good for health, but so always he comes to the petrol pump and when we fill petrol. So one day I went to my hometown where I was with my mother, and she was telling me we need to go to the petrol pump. I said yes, and it was an ambassador, a good old ambassador. And then she said dropping the window glass, she said, diesel for 1,000 rupees. We didn't find anything wrong with that, right? But immediately he asked, Father, why diesel is sold in a petrol pump? Why not a diesel pump? Now, if you can get a diesel from a petrol pump, can you get petrol from a diesel pump? Lot of questions. Now I just realized the fact, whatever I just read and thrown away in this article where can kids be a better testers, that came to my mind. I just walked back and I read the article. No, it was fantastic. I could really appreciate what exactly it is. Rahul was saying you need to experience it. And this was the experience. It was nothing related to software testing which he did. But he threw a lot of insight to me that testing is something really different. Why not diesel pump? No, to be frank with you, I was held up for 2-3 minutes. I was not able to give an answer to a 3 or 4-year-old child. Why not diesel pump? No, I got a mobile. And believe me, my son knows more features than what I know. Because I always think, my God, 40,000 rupees. And he now has a fear of failure. No, this is where the testers comes in. Now, that's not my topic altogether, but then I was just trying to synergize the thoughts in the same fashion. So this is the world we are in, and then the challenge comes in schedule slippages. I don't want to talk about it because we all know about it, we experience it. I still remember the day where myself and my test team member was sitting down at 11:30 p.m. To get the bill ready, which has to be submitted to the customer very next day, next morning. Schedule slippages. Now, complexities. We talk a lot about complexities. But the more interesting thing is Rahul was saying how much time will you take to test this? Now I just want to go one more step into it. Even if you get all the features of the product which is under test, how can you say that testing is a function, the effort for testing is a function of the quality of the things which is given to the testing, which can be identified only during the testing. It's a function of itself. The complexities goes one more step. Now comes the big word, agile stuff. Now that has become the bang of the industry, and I was for the first time seeing a presentation like what Rahul did today morning. It was opening the eyes like anything. But everything, and for everything we are going with Agile. Now, I'm not going to talk against Agile, but that is the run of the day, and being in a service company, managing the testing team of a service company, when the team runs with Agile, I also have to run with Agile. Because that's where I mean, I can't stand on the way and try to change things, but first thing is like, you need to run along with the crowd and then change it. That's what I believe. Start. We started running with a lot of students. What was the result of that? We have a 3-4 year project running in, where every fortnight a scrum happens, where we add about 200 test cases. Down 1 year, think about the number of test cases where we landed on. Now, every Agile, I believe it is an incremental and iterative model. If you go back to the conventional development life cycle, and I always believe Agile is not a life cycle, it's a management methodology. And the life cycle behind Agile is incremental and iterative. Now, whenever that goes in, like, it is incremental and iterative. So the same features are getting amended also. In that case, like, you have to run all the previous test cases also. My goodness, 2 weeks, and after down 1 year, you have to run about 5,000 test cases in 2 weeks. Impossible. How? I mean, this was one of the big concepts which has been debated a lot. And then, as any organization, and I know, like, if I put this question, I will have to get back the same answer.